Chargers flashbacks. Everybody thought that Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert, they were just going to run the AFC. They were going to be competing with Mahomes, and they both missed the playoffs. Both of them.
I don't care if niggas is shooting, it's all about the clapback. Get your boss whack, premieres funeral on Snapchat. You now tuned into the bad guy, mad fly.
All right, look. We got a couple things operating right now this all season. So, in the NFL, the most hyped teams happen to be the Bears because they got Caleb, the Packers because Jordan Love is the new hot thing, and the Houston Texans. Now, here's the thing. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but somebody got to say this. There's a more likely than not chance that at least two of them teams are going to bust. Y'all know how this goes, man. The most overrated, overhyped teams in the offseason, don't they tend to flop every freaking year? Let's talk about this for a second. What happened to Trevor Lawrence Jaguars last year? What happened? Did the Jaguars make the playoffs last year? No. What about Baker Mayfield in Cleveland? Remember when Baker Mayfield got Odell Beckham and Jarvis Landry and Nick Chubb? Did the Browns make the playoffs that year? No. Remember when Russell Wilson went to the Broncos and it was just supposed to be the Peyton Manning all over again? Did they make the playoffs? No. You remember Blake Bortles, Jaguars, after they made the AFC title game? Did they make the playoffs the following year? No. Remember here's another example. Let's keep it 150,000 right now. What happened to Justin Herbert? What happened to Justin Herbert? Did he make the playoffs last year? No. Remember with Mitchell Trubisky, Bears fans, you're doing it again, Bears fans. You're doing it again. Remember when Mitchell Trubisky lost to the Eagles in the first round of the playoffs and everybody thought it was the Mitchell Trubisky era and Mitchell Trubisky turned the corner and the Bears was going to compete with Aaron Rodgers? What happened? Listen. Be careful with these overhyped teams. That's all I'm saying. Be careful with these teams. Be very, very careful with these teams. I left the Lions out. I believe the Lions are legit. I don't think they're Super Bowl contenders, but I left the Lions out because the Lions aren't a flash in the pan. You see, the Lions had a good season 2 years ago. They got hot. Like the Lions under Dan Campbell 2 years ago, they showed you promise, okay? Last season, they delivered on that by going to the NFC Championship game and almost winning it. They should have won it, but Dan Campbell's stupid. So my thing with the Lions is, they're on the right path. You play good one season, you don't make the playoffs, you're motivated the next season, you come back, you do good in the playoffs. Now the next season, you're competing for a championship. So anything less than a playoffs for the Lions is a disappointment. We expect the Lions to just be in the playoffs. We expect that. When it comes to the Packers, when it comes to the Houston Texans, how we know you're for real? How do we know? You see, when I think of Houston and I think of Green Bay, I'm getting Cleveland Brown flashbacks. I'm getting Jaguars, Chargers flashbacks. Everybody thought that Trevor Lawrence, Justin Herbert, they were just going to run the AFC. They were going to be competing with Mahomes, and they both missed the playoffs. Both of them. So it's just like, I've seen this time and time and time again. These teams get overrated and they fall on their face. Last year's Saints team, did the Saints go to the playoffs? No. Did the Falcons go to the playoffs last year? Everybody was talking about Bijan Robinson, Drake London, Kyle Pitts. They didn't make the playoffs. So it's like, you got overrate these teams in the off season, and then they flop like fat niggas in the pool. So I'm just, be careful. I know a lot of y'all are betting your money. A lot of y'all are putting your fantasy teams' hopes and prayers in Stephon Diggs or Romeo Dobbs. You know, y'all are trying to correlate these teams. But be careful. Because the Houston Texans, as somebody who has a great relationship with God and puts God first, I love CJ Stroud. I love everything about CJ Stroud. But would it shock you if he flops? Would it shock you if CJ Stroud fell on his face next season? What's the difference between him and Baker Mayfield? What's the difference? Remember when Baker Mayfield beat Pittsburgh in a playoff game? Everybody was on the Baker Mayfield wave, and then it died. So I'm just like, I've seen this before. Trevor Lawrence. Oh, he is Andrew Luck. He is Peyton Manning. He's living up to the hype. Missed the playoffs after adding Calvin Ridley. I'm just saying, fellas, be careful. Jordan Love, bruh, he's basically a rookie. We don't know if Jordan Love is as good as what he played because he's a rookie. Now, I commend the Packers for giving him that contract because you have to do it. Because you waited 3 years to start the kid, you kind of got to pay him if he wins a game. So, I'm okay with his contract. But let's not act like they're bust proof because they're not. That ain't Aaron Rodgers at quarterback. I know Jordan Love is nice. That ain't Brett Favre. That ain't Aaron Rodgers. He don't got the resume to just pencil him in to 10 wins. He don't got the resume for that. So be careful. And lastly, the Bears. I like Caleb Williams. I do. I like Caleb Williams. But can we please let this dude play like a game? Can he play a half? Not even a game. Not even a game. Can Caleb Williams play a half of football before we crown him the Black Peyton Manning? I know he's wearing Peyton Manning number, but can he at least play a half of football before we just heap all these expectations on Caleb Williams, please? The fact that people think the Bears are going to win the North is laughable. It's laughable to me. You're telling me that a rookie is going to be better than that Detroit team? You're telling me a rookie is going to outplay Jordan Love out the box? You're telling me a rookie is going to be better than that Minnesota team with Addison and Jefferson on it? Like, they got firepower in Minnesota, bro. The quarterback situation is iffy, but damn, J.J. McCarthy has just as good. Listen, don't sleep on J.J. McCarthy. Don't act like that dude ain't got Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson out there. Last time I checked, there ain't a wide receiver on the Bears better than Justin Jefferson. So let's not act like the Vikings are just chopped liver. So I'm trying to understand how people are just penciling in the Bears to just win the division. Make it make sense. Be careful with these teams who don't have a track record of winning. Notice I left the Lions out because the Lions over the course of a couple years have shown you who they are. We know who Detroit is. Over the past couple years, Detroit has shown us who they are. We don't know who the Bears are. We don't know who the Houston Texans are. We don't know who this new version of Green Bay is. But the thing with Green Bay is that coaching staff, like, they have infrastructure. So I'll give Green Bay a little bit of a pass, just a little bit, because they do got the infrastructure that Aaron Rodgers left over to them, if that makes sense. But the Bears, forget about it. I love Caleb Williams, but thinking he gonna win 9 or 10 games out the box is laughable. It's laughable. Period. But we'll see. We'll see. I ain't got nothing else to say, man. Just be careful with your fantasy teams. Be careful if you out there betting futures. Just be careful. That's it. That's all. Hit the like button. Hit the sub button. Drop F views in the comments if you rockin' with me. And stay vicious. Dismiss.